Welcome to the show. This is Charlton and Big C. Welcome to Charlton and Big C Sports, coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and the good old boys down south. I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners in Latin America, also across the pond in London, England, as well as Paris, France, and of course you good old boys in Canada. You know we love you up there, and there's no one we love more than the good old boys down south in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Today is a beautiful August the 17th, 2017. But Big C, before I even get into that, I do want to say I offer all of our condolences out because we're worldwide in Barcelona, Spain. You know, another attack, obviously, and it makes worldwide news, and it should. So far, I've heard of 12 fatalities and over 80 injured. And if we can do anything to put a stop to that, I don't know what we can do, Big C, but I do want to offer our thoughts and condolences to the people of Spain. Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, it's just a tragedy, the plight of the world these days, and the carnage that is going on, and the lack of sensitivity towards human life.
Yeah.
In a peaceful way, where people are walking along with their everyday life, and life is cut short.
Yeah.
Like some fool, some crazy person. You know, but the one thing I do want to give a little bit of credit to the Spanish government for calling it an act of terrorism.
Yeah.
Something that our government lacks the credence of, when that same type of incident had occurred against America.
Yeah.
Where a white nationalist decided that he wanted to run down, innocent Americans on the street.
Yeah.
In this act of cowardice. And our president would condone it as white terrorism within America.
Yeah.
But this is the state that we live in, where he wants to talk about his terrorists in another country, but it's not terrorists in our own country. But Captain, human life matters.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the sporting arena, whether it's just in everyday social life.
Yeah.
We have to find a way in society, and I know that they say sports galvanizes a lot of things.
Yeah.
Sports has always leaned on to be the answer.
Yeah.
Sports is not the answer, Charlton. Politicians are the answers, and they have to come to the forefront. I've seen more political rhetoric today on sports shows, Charlton, than I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It's that everybody now is wanting to follow Charlton and Big C, as far as what we've been advocating for over a year, Charlton.
Yeah.
Now, our people have to come in line with our sports people. We can't put the onus on these athletes and say we have to be spokesmen for the world.
Yeah.
When these elected officials fail to do their job, fail to go out and protect the citizens of America and the world, Charlton.
Yeah, and I hope, obviously, that we can pull people together, and it doesn't, just because you love sports, it doesn't mean you have to be an ignorant person, and we will make sure that doesn't happen here. I do want to say today's segment sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world, and when you go by and test drive yours, tell them that Charlton and Big C sent you. You know, Big C, outside of the Conor McGregor fight, and Floyd Money Mayweather, I guess they haven't sold out yet, Big C. They're saying it's going to be the fight of the universe, Big C, but they haven't found someone to bring that universal money in there yet. They still haven't sold out yet, Big C. I think when Mayweather fought that good old boy Pacquiao, I think they sold out in about 30 minutes. Even the New England Patriots and the Raiders are sold out in Mexico City, Big C. Why isn't this fight of the century not sold out yet, Big C, in Las Vegas? Your thoughts? Yeah.
This is not a boxing match.
Yeah.
And what people are sitting around waiting on is, McGregor goes rogue on Mayweather, gets disqualified by with a leg.
Yeah.
Body slam.
Yeah.
And that's what I expect to occur in this fight, Charlton, is that McGregor will become so frustrated with the first round that
well, we're having a little bit of trouble with your microphone, Big C. We're going to try to work on that and clear it up. But I do know that if McGregor does anything foolish, I think he's going to lose a lot of money. He may even he may be penalized more than he's expected to make on all of his fights combined, Big C. So I don't know if he'll do anything that foolish. I think just like back in the day, if you recall back in the day when guys were saying, I would fight Mike Tyson, I think it was Michael Spinks that had a fight with Mike Tyson, and it lasted like 90 seconds. And there were a lot of people saying, I'd fight Mike Tyson. The first punch, I let him hit me, and I lay down to get my money. Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Mike Tyson was vicious. And the thing with Mayweather, he's not going to hurt McGregor.
No.
Other than mentally, Charlton, he dominates this guy.
Yeah.
He was dominating, with tactics and boxing savvy.
Yeah.
McGregor because he's been a guy who's always been physical. The
Yeah.
physicality of his fight, is what has allowed him to function,
Yeah.
In that octagon. But that doesn't happen in the box. The fighter is distance.
Yeah.
And that's not his MO, Chocolate. So, he's going to go out there, and like I said, people have come to the reality that that type of fight has people like
Yeah.
that you expect to see 6 foot teams.
Yeah.
And you have entertainment.
Yeah.
That's like a basketball player talking going to play against an NFL player on
Yeah.
this court.
Yeah.
It's not an NFL is going to be able to keep up with one of the top 10 players in the NBA.
Yeah.
Regardless of how good athlete for the game. And that's what we're looking at with the McGregor Mayweather scenario, Chocolate. They put the leadership in their own field.
Yeah.
But think, the kid Landry in New York, great wide receiver, okay?
Yeah.
Well, Beckham.
Beckham, yeah.
Great wide receiver, back-to-back catches. What would he do if he did anything other than be embarrassed?
Yeah.
How would he
Yeah, that's funny because, well, I recall back in the 70s, I believe, I went to go see, it was George Foreman. He actually was training in the Bay Area, and he was training to go fight Muhammad Ali when they had the fight across seas, Big C, and there were a lot of people at the Hayward Gym watching the great George Foreman, and of course I was an Ali fan, so I wanted to see Ali win, but just seeing how big Foreman was and realizing those were two guys that were at the top of their business. It's not like one of them was an MMA fighter and the other guy was a professional boxer. The Foreman and Ali fight, the reason it got so much attention is because people expected, they knew what to expect. The same thing with Pacquiao and Floyd Money Mayweather. They knew what to expect because both guys were great fighters, irrespective of whether one was hurt or not. I mean, that was a money grab. This also, we know it's a money grab, but that's part of boxing and what has made boxing. And I mean, I want to say it's irrelevant, Big C, but I do think boxing has everything to lose in this, and MMA has everything to gain. Does that make sense at all, Big C, or is it just another form of entertainment? And again, we're working on your front. I know we got a lot of bad weather down south, but go right ahead, Big C. Go right ahead.
We're not going to have the sugar Hagler scenario.
Yeah.
That's not going to
Yeah.
be a little power turns. We're not going to have this type of battles. We're not going to have the Larry Holmes and Michael Doak.
Yeah.
This is not going to. This is not what we're seeing in this arena, Charles. What we're seeing is more of a gimmick scenario.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. People are, because MMA has become so popular, they feel that it is the dominant ring sport going on, which it is financially.
Yeah.
Dana White has created a huge monster of finance in the octagon.
Yeah, he has.
The boxing purists, are still out there. There are people who still recognize boxing as being a gentleman's sport. It's sports of class and character. But the MMA is a street fight, period. I don't care how you look at it.
Yeah.
Because where else can you go elbow kick, knee somebody, really bite him? Mike Tyson would be at home in the latter part of the year.
He's a vampire, Tyson. I tell you. Yeah.
You got all these young, millennial people out here now talking
Yeah.
for that instant gratification. And that's what the MMA brings, is instant gratification.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm not knocking women, but you look at the amount of women that are in the MMA versus women
In boxing. Yeah.
It doesn't parallel.
Yeah.
So,
And when you think about that too, Holly Holm, when she did fight Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm she's well known as a boxer, a good fighter, not just an MMA lady. And Rousey more just an MMA fighter. And when they got into the ring, she got beat by someone who could punch and fight. And I think that's the same situation we're looking at with McGregor and Mayweather. And obviously, if a fool and his money are easily parted, from what I understand, Big C, from a lot of things, and I've been part of both sides in the past. But I mean, obviously, it's entertainment. I will be in Las Vegas, but I'm not caught up in all the hype. To me, it's just something to go see for entertainment, because there'll be a lot of other celebrities there, a lot of media around the country. But they were hyping this thing as if it's the best thing to happen in Las Vegas since we had, I think it was Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson when they fought down there. But obviously, it's not the same thing. It's more just like, it's more what people are willing to pay for, which is just staged, like make-believe. If you want make-believe, they have Disneyland about a 3-hour drive to the west, Big C. But obviously, it's exciting, so a lot of people are going to go for the excitement. But I want to ask your opinion. Do you think it hurts the legitimate boxers that really have a right to be in the ring with each other compared to this stage fight coming up, Big C? Your thoughts? Yeah.
You know, you have guys minds trying to get the pro card.
Yeah.
But you allow Steph Curry to it's a scratch offer.
Yeah.
And it's for him. Guys who labor every week.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know I still want to apologize. We're still having a lot of weather issues down south. I know, Big C, you're going to have to bring that boat inside, Big C. I know you're out there fishing in the rain, but at the same time, we'll make it last, Big C, because obviously everybody stands up when the world of sports speaks. And obviously we talk about boxing, but I want to throw this back a little bit into the NFL, which to me is a head sport. You know, no matter what happens in the world, I do think we have some great examples that can be set by the league when it comes to all the matters going on in the world right now. Where there's in Europe, you know, they have the soccer is really huge in Europe, and the NFL is the king here in the United States of America. As far as stopping hate, I know it takes politics, and sports is kind of like a breather to give people a chance to step away from it all. But I want to say the great Tony Dungy, who to me at some point in time may end up being the commissioner of the NFL, he challenged some of the sports team down in Tampa to help take down some of the Confederate statues in front of the courthouse, which are locally financed and federally financed, the federal courthouse. Maybe those statues can be in museums, Big C. I really applaud Tony Dungy for not saying, well, this is something we don't want to talk about, we'll just deal with it later. He said to the whole world, let's get some of our sports teams to step up and kind of help get some money together to get these statues put perhaps where they should be, and that's in a museum. Big C, your thoughts on the great Tony Dungy? Yeah.
That's where those statues belong. They don't belong in the museum.
Yeah.
I mean, history is a tough thing in America. I mean, America is nothing but history.
Yeah.
But to glorify the most hated part of American history, Charlton, I think is wrong. You know, and you know, we've become a society of sensitivity, political correctness.
Yeah.
But they abolished so much of the true history for years in America, not letting it be known.
Yeah.
And now that people are the internet generation, where you can't not hide all of history and what was done wrong to many Americans. You know, it's like the Japanese internment during World War II.
Yeah.
Where they took all of Southern California. These people were born in this country, they were American citizens, and did not give it back. They took it and kept it for their own wealth.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's been so much atrocities that have been done in America. And we have a White House now talking as an advocate of atrocities in America.
Yeah.
They're not speaking about the positive things. There's no agenda. You should be talking about an economic platform in America right now.
Yeah.
Not the social inequalities that we're having and that you're perpetuating from that Oval Office, Charlton.
Yeah.
This is where, you know, when we look at these monuments, you know, they have a time of the past.
Yep.
And the past is not to be forgotten, but it's also to be put on a shelf.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Not part of your everyday life. You shouldn't have to wake up every day and relish on the past because you have no future. And when the past is blocking your future, Charlton, it hurts a lot of Americans.
Yeah.
You think about sports teams. And they go back to their heyday when they had glorious times and they were winning it all. You think about the Boston Celtics that won all those consecutive championships.
Yeah.
And now, you know, Charlton, they're a team on the rebuild.
Yeah.
Think about the Boston Red Sox, okay?
Yeah.
The Boston Red Sox were the last team in Major League Baseball to integrate, okay?
Yep.
And it took them until the mid-'60s to integrate. Just think about that, Charlton. It took them over 25 years after Jackie Robinson had crossed the color line for the Boston Red Sox to integrate in baseball. They were the last Major League team. That's racism. They fought against progression, and we saw what happened earlier in the season, Charlton, with all the racial slurs and epithets from the fans, Charlton, against minority players.
Yeah.
We're not that far removed. You think about that. 1967, 25 years after Jackie Robinson crossed the color barrier, Charlton, that the Boston Red Sox finally integrated into social baseball, allowing a minority on their team. 25 years, Charlton. We were in the civil rights movement before the Boston Red Sox could do it. When you think about that, and you think about there were fans in the stands using those racial epithets that were around before Boston integrated.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? What's so funny about that, Big C? And I still hear that people say, well, if we talk about social justice and equality, maybe the fans won't come. Well, a lot of these fans came when we didn't even have civil rights, Big C. When you look at baseball, the integration in baseball, Jackie Robinson received a lot of hate and vitriol from those same fans that some of these owners, I'm not saying the same fans per se, but that same mentality, and it didn't stop people from coming to the games. In fact, it made the games more popular, Big C, when they had something to hate. Because, whether you like it or not, when you're driving down the wrong way on the highway, it gets more attention than everybody driving the same way. So hopefully we can keep that joke about, hey, let's just not bring everybody together because some people won't like it. We just got to do what's right and wrong, Big C. I just want to say this too. This segment is sponsored by Ben and Mark. Sports is a billion-dollar industry, and boys and girls sports is the foundation for this billion-dollar industry. Every athletic event needs insurance. We work with Ben and Mark. They work with Big C Sports. They've been around for half a century. Whether you're a pro athlete, collegiate athlete, you're a high school, or mom and pop soccer league, reach out to them, let them know that Big C sent you. So I love the fact that we say, well, what will the fans do? The fans won't come if we have anything that's controversial. Well, Big C, what was more controversial to these fans than having black Americans infiltrate the world of baseball and they were just demonizing Jackie Robinson? They still had sellout crowds, Big C. Your thoughts? Yeah.
When did he not have a sellout at a boxing ring? This was the most controversial sporting figure probably of the 20th century.
For doing the right thing.
For doing the right thing, for standing up for social consciousness, for fighting against what was wrong for all Americans, not just African Americans, talking to all Americans.
Yeah, everybody. Yep.
And he was utilized daily, even by our own government, not just the fans, but by our own government.
Yeah.
And whenever we showed up with crowds, he had the highest price tickets in all the sports. You think about his 71 fight with Joe Frazier at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
That was the highest price ticket in the history of sports, Charlton. This was a man that came off a 3-year banishment.
Yeah.
And everyone hated and vilified him that was white in America. But that arena, Charlton, was 85% white at Madison Square Garden that night.
And they still came.
They paid the money. So look, when these people talk about, because of social media, that they won't come.
Yeah.
Charlton, they will be there. There is not a professional team in sports
that
is winning, that has been a staple of a community or a state or even a region.
Yeah.
The fans will not show up for. You're going to tell me that the Saints don't show up, Charlton, even when they lost?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Big C.
New York Giants, tell me the last time the New York Giants did not have a sellout.
Yeah.
So when the Miller family said, well, if we sign and talk to Colin Kaepernick, we got a lot of hate mail, but we got a lot of fan mail for Josh Brown, our former kicker, beating up his wife.
Yep.
That was okay. We turned a blind eye on that because she had a black eye and she couldn't see.
Yeah.
But Colin Kaepernick, because he stood up for what Josh Brown was doing, he stood against that. You think about it. Colin Kaepernick's stance, Charlton, on the sideline for social and racial injustice in America has Josh Brown's former wife included in that stance, Charlton.
Yeah.
Because women receive equal rights in America at the same time African Americans do, okay?
Isn't that true, Big C? Yeah.
And so what Colin Kaepernick was doing, not only was he standing for Black Lives Matter, but he was standing for every white woman in America, Charlton.
I agree.
You need to understand your history.
Yeah.
Because he stood for every white woman. What Josh Brown was doing, that injustice to his ex-wife, beating her up with 21 911 calls to the police department.
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick stood against that.
Yeah.
And the police villainized him for that, Charlton.
Yeah, and I agree. And wherever you're standing, your microphone's a lot better, Big C. I know you might lose that next pass, but I appreciate you very much. I do want to say something, too, because I've always respected Tony Dungy, not because he's a black man, but because he's part of what happened with the Rooney Rule. They had to hire people. So when people think about the NFL and how fair it is, even though 80% of the product is African-American, 75 to 80%, they still had to institute a Rooney Rule. Not for affirmative action, but for the good old boys to give black men a chance to coach. That's the NFL we're talking about, protecting that shield. That's the shield we're talking about, the one that has to implement a law to give people opportunity to seek employment. So I want to ask you this question. Because Tony Dungy came out and said, let's do something right for all people, and asking athletes to help pay to take down some of these monuments so it wouldn't cost the local taxpayers money. Roger Goodell didn't do that. I mean, Jerry Jones hasn't done that. There's a lot of owners all over the country that haven't done that. The Mara family hasn't done that either. But Tony Dungy, I hate to see him on an island by himself, Big C. I want to ask you this question. What will it take for other owners and other coaches to come out and say that Tony Dungy, if you can't respect him, who takes it he's kind of a slow ball pitcher. He doesn't pitch fastballs. He's non-controversial. He kind of goes right down the middle. He's seen good and bad society. But he's compromising by saying, let's ask some of these sports teams to help do something that's right for all people. Will he be an example for some of the other ex-coaches in the league? Big C, your thoughts?
Well, that's kind of look at coaches, Sean, but let's look at owners. You know, in Baltimore, there was a statue that was removed, okay?
Yeah.
The Supreme Court justice who wrote the decision that African Americans were not people, okay?
Yeah.
Stood outside the courthouse in Baltimore. Now, we just had an owner in Baltimore just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Said he was asking the fans how they feel
to pray.
if they find, you know,
To pray for
Kaepernick.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here it is. There's a statue, and he wouldn't donate any money. He didn't feel any racial injustice.
No.
Because of what African Americans had gone through. But there's a statue in front of the courthouse in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Where a Supreme Court justice had said, hey, African Americans are not people. And
Yeah.
this was a law
Yeah.
in the United States. And a law for many years, Charlton. And so people say, well, it's part of history. Okay, so we are people now. So things that made us not people,
Yeah.
why don't you get rid of it? Why don't you hide it away? Why don't you put it in that closet and seal it up? That's what you do, Charlton. We don't see America walking around glorifying Al Capone.
No.
One of the greatest murderers in American history.
Yeah.
We don't do that. But, you know, you want to glorify slavery? You know, and Al Capone was more recent than slavery. But he was white, killing white people.
Well, Big C.
So we don't want to glorify him.
Yeah, let me ask you a question that I think is very relevant, where there's the Kerner Commission that was issued by Lyndon B. Johnson, and how they talked about race and society, and how they judged it separate and unequal. And let's just take the devil's advocate. Let's say some of the people, because of media, were saying Colin Kaepernick didn't stand up for the troops. Okay, let's just say that, even though we know it's wrong and it's not accurate, let's just say for a moment that we're dumb enough to believe that garbage. Well, people were saying get the hell out of the country. Now, here you have President Trump that doesn't even denounce the KKK and the white nationalists that were running around yelling anti-Semitic statements and telling African Americans to get the hell out of the country, etc., just in Charlottesville over the past couple of days. No one's told the president to get the hell out of the country. But you know what's funny? He was admonished by the military commanders in the United States saying, we are anti-hate in this United States. We don't go to war to support a hateful country. And they admonished the president. Now, they never admonished Kaepernick because he didn't say anything negative about the military, but they did admonish the president. Are there some of those same media people willing to hold President Trump accountable for the same garbage they tried to spread about Kaepernick and say, get the hell out of the White House? Big C, your thoughts?
Not by one iota, Charlton. It's like, you know, they nailed all of what Kaepernick was doing into one tunnel, okay? They shot it down the straw. That's how nailed they put Kaepernick's plight. Because when we talk about battered women on our show, and you so eloquently talk about it in every program,
Yeah.
but there's no room for domestic violence. Colin Kaepernick took a stance on that.
Yeah.
Against domestic violence. That was included in what Colin Kaepernick was doing.
Yeah.
A stance against domestic violence. And white owners and the president, we know how he's been advocating against domestic violence.
Yeah.
So if you find this guy who's against domestic violence, I'm going to send out a mean tweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
As an NFL owner. We have NFL owners saying, well, you know, he's going to cause a community upheaval because most of those NFL owners, Charlton, have been abusers
Yeah.
in their lives.
Well,
They abuse their employees, they have abused females in their lives, Charlton, and they can't walk around with a clean slate saying that I have it there. We know Robert Irsay, one of the biggest drug addicts in America.
yeah.
You know, and he's on
And people can
around it, Charlton.
And people can Google that too. So whatever we say on Big C Sports, all we ask you to do is Google it. You don't have to agree with this. You don't have to like our opinion. I just want to educate the world and say Google. There's a little blue G on your phone. It's Google. You can ask it any questions, and it talks back to you, Big C. I thought it was a bad thing at first, but it's actually a pretty good thing. I've learned to like my phone that talks back to me, Big C, when I ask it questions. I want to ask in the final few minutes of our program, and this is what I love about Big C Sports, because we're just real sports talk. One of the greatest athletes in the world, in fact, the NBA Finals MVP, Kevin Durant, he came out with a statement that if the Warriors are invited to the White House, and they probably will be, it's kind of tradition, that he won't go. Now, he may take some flack in that through media, but Steve Kerr, the one that he came out and denounced Donald Trump, and I appreciate him for doing it, with his bigotry when he started talking about the birther garbage and how Mexicans are rapists and murderers. I mean, come on. There's some people who still stand behind that. Well, Durant says he won't go because of the division that Trump has brought to America. And I think Durant grew up in the D.C. area, about 11 miles from the White House. I stand behind Durant and not shaking the hand of someone who rather support Nazi tacitly or not than to go there and shake his hand. I want to ask you, will Coach Kerr get the same, I guess, criticism that Durant has received? Big C, your thoughts?
I think if Coach Kerr decides not to show, he will get lambasted. But think about how quickly people forgot about Tom Brady not going to the White House when the Patriots went there after their championship. Tom Brady didn't go, as well as Chalker and another dozen, at least a dozen other players decided not to show. The national championship, University of Clemson, they had 30-some players that did not show up, Chalker, to the White House. So it's become a thing that people are doing. People are embarrassed by what's going on in America, Chalker, from our leadership position. And to be an advocate of that, I mean, it's nice to take the trip to the White House. I've been there, one of the most
gorgeous
facilities ever.
Yeah.
Donald Trump calls it a true dump. That's what he calls it. He calls the White House a true dump. This is the president of the United States saying that the most glorious house in America is a dump.
Wow.
It's not up to his standards. And his base is okay with that. But, you know, for athletes to have to go to the White House because of a tradition, no, Charlton, you should not have to go. Is it something against your belief? We don't have to go to it. Just because you've been invited by an individual to put on a false face, he's putting on a false narrative, saying that he's sincere. Well, so these athletes don't want to be lied to. If they're intelligent enough today, Charlton, to listen to the rhetoric that this man has spewed, and as well as the rest of the nation we hear daily, to say, I don't have to be a part of that, and I don't have to accept that in my lifetime.
Well, Big C, I want to ask you something, and I know as an African-American, sometimes I'm so proud of black men, not just because I am one. I mean, all life came from Africa, according to Dr. Leahy and Gregor Mendel. You can Google them. But when I hear Tony Dungy, when I hear Durant standing up to do what the military generals have done, some of the largest companies in America, from the AFL-CIO, from Pfizer, Merck, from Under Armour, Intel, 3M, Campbell, they all denounce hate. I think that's a great thing for our young people to see, that not everybody is a sycophant, that they're willing to stand up for what's right. I'm just asking for my white brethren, and I don't know what happened to the people in the land of the free and the home of the brave, whether it's the prodigal son of the NFL, Tom Brady, whether it's a Matt Ryan, 2 Super Bowl participants last year, he's in the South, of all places, Drew Brees in the South, Eli Manning, Andrew Luck, even the great Cam Newton, he's in the South. Where are these guys in making a statement like Durant? Because if you stand up for what's right, it doesn't matter if people don't like you or not. Not everybody loved Dr. King, but he did stand up for what's right. Not everybody appreciates all these great business leaders not wanting to be aligned with a bigot, but they did what's right, and that's going to help their stock because no one wants to invest in companies. Well, maybe that's not even true. The criminal justice system is a privatized. Yeah. Yeah.
In a tweet that he sent out 2 days ago.
Yeah.
He said, you know, I'm not getting on that train. I got a family to feed. I'm not going to buck the line like Kaepernick did.
Or like somebody bucked it for him, huh?
Yes, this is Dez Bryant. He does not realize the history of African-American athletes that made sacrifices for him to be
That's why he's rich.
A multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So he said, you know, he's not going to go against, you know, anything, and he's not going to advocate anything that Colin Kaepernick did. Because he's out there looking out for his home. He's not out there for the next wave of young athletes, whether they're African-American or any other culture.
Or his own kids. His own kids.
He's always thinking about himself.
Yeah.
Okay? The Dallas Cowboys are not going to cut him. He's going to be in the NFL regardless of what stance that he takes.
Yeah.
But to go out there and shun what one of your co-workers had done, and, you know, one of the guys in your own fraternity, you know, to say it was an embarrassment. And here it is, you came from the Midwest Deep South, Charlton.
Yeah.
You know, out of Oklahoma, where racism and atrocities have always occurred.
Yeah.
And to sit there and turn your back on the rest of the African-American athletes because you're a multi-million, talking about, I got a family to feed. If you didn't play another game, you should not go broke unless you're that stupid.
Yeah.
But you showed that you were not intelligent by the comments that you made through your tweets. And I think this is the divide that we all have, Charlton, the fear factor in America. And that's what teams have done with Colin Kaepernick. They've initiated a fear, you know. I don't know what then. Well, we always have to talk about it because he has a criminal record.
Yeah. That's part of the requisite, yeah, down there.
That's part of the record to be a cowboy, have a criminal record, so he's not going anywhere. I don't know if he doesn't realize that.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is something that, you know, so many people have put on players, so many owners.
Yeah.
That, you know, we will fire you and blackball you like we did Kaepernick.
Yeah.
But I think it's turning around on the owners right now, talking because we look at so many athletes that are taking the stands behind the Colin Kaepernick.
They're not dumb. They're not dumb anymore. No.
They're spooky. They say, hey, we have a voice. We own you as much as you own us.
Yeah.
Because we make you money.
Yeah.
So we have a stake in you. And that's what the players need to understand. The owners don't own them wholeheartedly. They're talented enough to play. Okay?
Yeah.
You can't blackball everybody. There's a lot of black players.
That'd be a lot. You know, Big C, you open my mind to so many things. I just want to make this point before we have you close out. You mentioned it earlier, and I didn't really think much about it because I read the whole Kerner Commission, and I encourage everyone to do that as a history lesson, especially with this uptick in these neo-Nazi groups. You guys need to read that, especially those of you who are pro-Trump. I mean, you might want to stay ignorant, but don't do it on purpose. At least let your kids read it so they can have a better future. Read the Kerner Commission. Read the whole thing. You can do it. It's worth your while. Just like we stand up and say no violence against women, I hope that we don't hold women accountable for being the only ones that stand up to say stop abusing women. I hope that we can get men to do that too. We should not just leave that up to women. I hope that we can get all people to stamp out hate, not just the people who are affected by it. We shouldn't just count on the Jewish community to stand up against anti-Semitism. They're the one who started the NAACP. That was started by the Jewish community and people of color. I hope that we can all do what's right. And Big C, as I let you close this, I just want to ask for all of our brethren, for the brave people, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm so proud of brave people. That's what keeps our country strong, from our military commanders through our business community. Big C, even the media, the ones that are accused of fake news, I applaud them to keep going forward and just do what Walter Cronkite said, just the truth, because our country will be stronger as we realize we have more in common than not in common. Big C, back in the day, there was a man by the name of Drew Bondini Brown. He was Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He had a slogan called Rumble, Young Man Rumble. Big C, what are you looking forward to in the sports universe?
Well, Charles, it was Thursday night. I got a tweet from Snow White, okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, this guy, he has to kill it. Jake Cutler has to kill it at some point.
Yeah.
You know, 11 years in the NFL and only 3 winning seasons.
Yeah.
Out of 11, Johnson. So you have 8 so-called 500 seasons in the NFL, and you're an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Only as a white guy in America can you do that.
Well, Big C, Don King told us only in America, but also with Big C Sports is universal worldwide. And every Monday through Friday at 5 and 6 p.m. worldwide, follow Big C Sports on the Big C Sports Network, the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and them good old boys down south. I want to tell you, there's never, ever any excuse for domestic violence. No woman should ever have to go through that garbage. If you know any woman going through that garbage, just call 911 so she won't have to deal with it on her own. And as we tell you on every Big C Sports show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.